Oh yeah, this is your boy Live Wire, and I'm back in the motherfucking building, baby. So what's going on, people? I got a little free time for lunch, and I figured I'd pop out a video. Just because I wanted to talk about, what Xbox is doing and why people are hating. Um, and I want to keep it fairly brief. But in light of Xbox releasing another new custom controller, a lot of people have been voicing their irrational views as far as Xbox needs to show more games instead of controllers. I spoke about this the other day. Xbox is not going to be showing more games until fucking E3. It's not happening. There's no real incentive for them to do that. They're basically relaunching Xbox in the sorts. To the casual, not so much, but to the hardcore, yes, that's what they're doing. They're relaunching Xbox to the hardcore. All right. And to do that, you got to have games, and the hardcore are the people that tend to look up any and everything about fucking games. So it's hard to keep shit away from hardcore gamers if you're constantly talking in the media about what the fuck you're doing. As much as people say they want to know, they don't. I know for a fact they don't. They say they want to know, but I want to know everything, all of it, all at once. They say they want to know, but they really, really don't. They really, really don't. Because we hear it every fucking year at E3 right after. It's like, oh man, Microsoft had a great show, but we already knew this shit was coming. You hear it every fucking time. Yes, both sides get their leaks, but when you're talking about a brand new game coming out that nobody's ever seen before, them doing a patent or whatever the fuck on something like that, it's all well and good, but you don't know what the hell that's for. It could be a triple A, it could be a double A, it could be a single A. You don't know. So therefore, it's just it's easier for a brand new IP unseen to kind of like get a leak as far as what you're hearing versus something that we already know, like a Uncharted or some shit like that. Like when what's that game? The Last of Us was said to be getting revealed. We knew it was coming at some point. We didn't know when, but we knew it was coming. You already know what the game's about. Yeah, they might change little things in here and there, and the graphics will be a little bit better. But for the most part, there's, those games, you already know what that game is. There's very little wow factor to it because it's already, at this point, it's already been successful, so it's kind of established. But anyway, man, I wanted to look at this video talking about what Xbox is doing. They did this a couple of weeks back, and at the time, I think Resident Evil had just launched a while ago. Actually, no, Resident Evil was January, right? So this was like right before fucking Halo Wars launched, sometime in September. September. Good grief, February. Trying to think exactly what day that was. It was like, oh god. Hello? Oh, hell no. But yeah, my bad. So, on to the games. Let's see.
For like 15 years. Yeah, we like to call this the RTS for everyone, and the way we kind of went through that was game modes. So in the multiplayer modes, you've got everything from like hardcore deathmatch, which is like you're a seasoned player, you know exactly what to do, down to blitz, which is a lot more casual, and you can just hop in, and matches are like 5 to 7 minutes. So you can kind of move along that scale, and as you move back and forth, the modes are a little more complicated or a little less complicated. Campaign is a great way to kind of ease people into it. And the other thing we've tried to do is just make the controls a lot more approachable. So it's just like if you're on a console, it's easy to get to what you want to do. It's easy to select your units, and it just becomes a lot more intuitive than it has been in the past.
All right. So obviously he's talking about Halo Wars. Halo Wars just dropped February 21st. It's a great game. I don't think you have to be a huge RTS fan to like Halo Wars, because it's not that crazy as far as getting into the game. It's definitely got a lot of different modes in it. For they have you have 1v1, 2v2, all the way up to 3v3. You could play that in Blitz, which is basically a card-based type of game. You could play that in a traditional setting, which is just you build your base up from scratch. That shit is long. Like a match could last you about an hour, and yeah, it's grueling, man. It's grueling, but it's still really, really enjoyable. But I think for the more casual players, they might like Blitz better because it's just faster. It's like match. Like a match could be like 10 minutes and a match could be like 2 minutes. Like, it depends on what your skill set is, how you have your decks aligned. It's a lot of shit like that. But Halo Wars is definitely a great game. And like I said, you don't have to be a great RTS player. Now, I mean, just going in, you gotta to me, this is what I like about Halo Wars. It's a game I can play while I'm talking to my friends. Like I don't have to concentrate on the story, I mean, obviously the campaign you do, but like after you beat the campaign, you can just go to straight multiplayer and just play that shit, all willy-nilly and do what you want, and the shit is just dope, man. It's just a real good game to play. I'm still trying to get my skills up, man, because I be getting trashed in this game because a lot of these dudes, I mean, they just play more often than I do, and their strategy is way better. Like a lot of times, you got to get smacked around to kind of observe like what the fuck people are doing. Don't just get smacked around and don't pay attention. Like look and see what the fuck they're doing in order to, adjust and change your strategy. The thing I always find is like once I get better at something, I always go against somebody who's less skilled than me. I don't really particularly care for that. I'd rather go to some, all right, I got smacked around, then let me play somebody who's like on the same level. And it feels like, all right, it's a game of tug of war, versus me getting smacked around, kind of figuring out, all right, I don't need to do that shit. Whatever I did over there, that was fucked up. I got to switch that shit. And then me turn around and, just trash somebody else. I'm like, oh, man. Because I don't feel like I really got my, usually it's like the match is over quick. It's not like it was, took a very long time to like a real game of tug of war. That's the type of shit I like. But yeah, man, Halo Wars is a great game. All right, I'm gonna skip ahead and see. All right, so you want to talk to Craig Duncan about Sea of Thieves.
Bongos, and I'm here as usual in the tavern at Rare with the studio head himself, Craig Duncan. How are you, Craig?
Great to have you here, as always.
It is a pleasure. Now let's talk about Sea of Thieves. People are playing the game already in the technical alpha. How's that going for you?
We know everyone wants to play, and we know there's great excitement. We've been scaling it. We let 1,000 players in, and we upped that to 5,000, and then we're just about to go into our next session where we're going to add a few more 1,000 players in as we continue to add features, scale the services. So it's awesome. I just want to say it's like super helpful for everyone that's giving us feedback and playing. It's great, super great.
It's kind of a new way of developing a game for you as a studio, right? Has it changed the sort of mood and the atmosphere in the studio?
Yeah, it's liberating, but also really scary, but in a good way. Because like when you normally build a game, you kind of have your vision, you take it to its end conclusion, you fix all the bugs, you release it, and then you see what people say. And this is like doing that in a really open way. And what it allows us to do is we keep looking ahead and going, okay, based on the data we're seeing in the player feedback, is ship customization the right next feature, or should we focus more on player customization? And all of those things just helps us influence our roadmap and priorities as we build the game. So in a way more informative, liberating way than any other game we've ever built.
A lot of people have seen a lot of Sea of Thieves last summer through E3 and Gamescom. What's new in the game as it stands right now?
Yeah, loads and loads of things. So we're just about, and this is like Sea of Thieves is always live. We're always adding things. So even if I tell you what we're doing now, like next week, that will be out of date. We're just about to do another tech alpha test. We've just increased the world size, which has brought new islands in. It's brought different regions, which make the game feel very different. And we've also added our skeleton AI threat as well. So now when you're out on islands exploring for treasure, there's skeletons that will come out of the ground. And that makes the game feel way more you and your crew against the world. So now I'm worried about finding treasure, going on adventures. There might be skeletons we encounter. There might be another pirate crew that comes by. Think of this sort of melting pot of all these emergent things that could happen all at the same time. And what's my adventure going to be this time?
So what's next for Sea of Thieves? When are we going to hear more about the game?
Sign up to be a Sea of Thieves insider. Go on the seaofthieves.com website. Follow our channels on Twitter and Facebook. Just be part of the community. And I think if people want to know more about Sea of Thieves, coming into our community is where they'll find out more.
All right, Craig, that's brilliant. Thank you so much for your time. I think we should break out the group.
All right, so this is Sea of Thieves, another game that I'm looking forward to. Now, this is definitely a game that you're going to be playing online only. That's what it is. There's no, yes, you can play by yourself, but you have to play online. Just based off of what I heard as far as cloud computing, it's very similar to Destiny in that aspect. You need to be online. Just because it's part of all right, you want to play by yourself, cool, do that. But to keep the game seamless as far as people jumping in and out co-op and having everything based off of that, and then you got cloud computing based on the physics of the water and other shit that they have in the world. It's just that's just part of what they're trying to have as Sea of Thieves. Now, obviously, this game is, as far as we know, is a service, right? So there's going to be heavy customization in this game. And that's part of what's going to make this game really appealing to a lot of people. There's a fundamental difference that I've stated for a while between Xbox gamers and PlayStation gamers. PlayStation gamers are very fine and okay with a story-driven single-player game. They might not even, a game like this, they might not feel comfortable with because it's not something that's, it's you're creating your own story, and they don't necessarily want to do that. Some people do because they have Ark Survival on. I think it's just called Ark on the PS4, and that's successful over there as well as on the Xbox One. So it's not like nobody on the PS4 cares for those expansive multiplayer games. It's just that that's not where their hardcore really goes for those experiences on the PS4. They just that's typically just single player. That's what they like, so that's why this generation PlayStation is able to get away with just having mediocre multiplayer games modes on some of their games. You have the Uncharted multiplayer is mediocre, and then you have the Killzone multiplayer, which is mediocre. But it's okay for that group of gamers because they're more focused on the single player. The multiplayer is whatever. Even with Titanfall, people that praise Titanfall, not the first one, but the second one, people that praise Titanfall 2 focus mainly on the story of that game. They rarely even talked about the multiplayer. And I played the multiplayer. It's okay, but it's just not something I care for with Titanfall 2 because I just felt like they did too much in order to try to cater to this Call of Duty. It feels more like Call of Duty than it does Titanfall to me. Me personally, it just does. But I don't know. What I see for Sea of Thieves is I think this is going to be a slow burn. This is going to be a game that, if it catches fire real fast, I'll be surprised, but I think it's going to be one of those games that'll launch. It'll be out for a little bit, and then it'll kind of snowball a little bit later. Now, is it going to snowball to the level of what's the name of that? Minecraft? I don't know, because I just don't know enough about the creation as far as like how they're, allowing you to create your ships and all that stuff. I don't know. That customization is what's going to determine how many people get the game, stay in the game. I know they said they're building a lot of quests because it is a game as far as service. So they're trying to, have a ton of stuff in the game to keep people busy. I mean, because this type of game is all based on like people, constantly coming back to play more and more and more, similar to what Destiny did for its user base. So knowing that and using Destiny as kind of a semi blueprint for what they're trying to do for Sea of Thieves, they looked at their success, they looked at their errors, and they're just trying to basically build off of what they have as far as that. All right, so let's look at what's next. Let me see. Oh yes, this is my game. This is what I think is going to be the highest rated game for Xbox this year, and I'll give my scores after we finish looking through all these games.
Jeff, how are you?
I'm doing fine, thanks, Lee.
I'm looking to hear what's going on with State of Decay 2. Tell us.
Well, we are busy trying to get it ready for its release this year.
Yep.
It's coming together beautifully. Super exciting. We obviously at the studio, we're all huge fans of the original game too, and so it's kind of a fantasy for us to get it to this point and see it coming together and know that it's real. When we looked at the original game, and we kind of made a big list of here's what works, here's what didn't work so well,
right?
And here are the things that we want to kind of double down on.
Sure.
And one of the things that we explored with the original game was kind of this feeling of creating bases and communities where everybody had their own agendas and their own ideas, right, and their own desires and impulses.
Right.
And you saw that modeled in the game, that sometimes you'd come in and play and somebody would have stolen all your stuff and taken off because they got angry with you or something.
Right.
And we really wanted to take that to the next level. And so one of the big areas of innovation for the game beyond the cooperative multiplayer aspect of it is what we call dynamic narrative, which is really bringing the social and community aspects of the game into the overall simulation in the same way we do zombie behavior and modeling the overall state of the world. And it really creates for some just phenomenal storytelling.
Jeff, what's your favorite gameplay moment of State of Decay 2 that you've come across in game testing?
I'd love to tell you that it's some of these innovative new features that we're putting into the game, the dynamic narrative, obviously the multiplayer really adds a whole new dimension to the game. That's super fun. But for me personally, the thing that I'm still doing at midnight when I'm playtesting the game is driving around my car, slamming zombies, and taking it to them with the weapons and the guns. Right? It's just there's just still that visceral thrill of that, and the fidelity is so much enhanced in State of Decay 2 compared to State of Decay 1. We just give you all kinds of new ways to take it to the zombie hordes.
Jeff, can you remind everyone when the game is coming out?
Yep, it's 2017 this year, and we'll have more details for you at E3.
That is awesome. Jeff Strain is the executive producer for State of Decay 2. Jeff, thanks for your time.
You bet, Larry. Thank you.
All right, so State of Decay 2, this is going to be my shit. I love State of Decay 1. And for those that have, look, State of Decay was a buggy, glitchy masterpiece. That's basically the way I can describe it. It had its issues, but even kind of sifting through all the problems that it did have, there was a real great game in there, and the foundation was strong. Now, what I look forward to the State of Decay 2 is obviously them really cleaning up a lot of those issues that they had, and they're not using the Crytek engine anymore, so they're using the Unreal Engine 4. So hopefully that is what can help them establish a better open world game as far as crispness and from what I'm seeing from the trailer and the little screenshots that they put up, it looks pretty good. You know, the whole dynamic narrative thing, that sounds awesome. It's like, you know, things can switch on a dime, you know, as far as well, all right, let's look at it this way. In State of Decay 1, when people died, the morale of your base would kind of go down, and you have to talk to people on the side. So I would think that little things, I mean, more things in State of Decay 2 would attribute to people acting a certain way. You know, you might have more stuff like relationships that come together. Like people might come in like, you know, boyfriend and girlfriend, or boyfriend and boyfriend, girlfriend and girlfriend, whatever the fuck the case is, right? And relationships might fall apart. Like it's going to have more of a even more so of a Walking Dead feel than it did in the previous, you know, game. And I look, man, I cannot fucking wait for the State of Decay 2. Like, this is going to be, now let's get this straight off the bat. I do not think this is going to be some photorealistic game, and it's going to rival freaking The Last of Us graphically. I do not think that whatsoever, because that is for them to be able to go from State of Decay 1 to something as good as The Last of Us 1, that would shock the fuck out of me, because that's not really what I'm looking for from this game. I'm just looking for more polish, and I'm just looking for you know, just them building off of the system that they had previously. I mean, because the game was dope. I love the finite resources. You can't just fucking run around and drive cars all willy-nilly and think that your shit is going to be good, because after a while, you know, you keep on driving them to walls or zombies, it's just going to break down. It's going to fall apart, and you're going to be asked out. And that's just great gameplay, man. Great gameplay. And the simple fact that you can play that shit co-op now, that shit's going to be amazing, man. I can't wait. I cannot wait. State of Decay is probably going to be my game of the year. As far as Xbox games, I don't know what else is coming out this year. I mean, Shadow War should be good, but well, if we get a Splinter Cell, then all bets are off. Because that's my shit. If we get a Splinter Cell, all bets are off, and that might have to leapfrog everything and go to Game of the Year. I know PlayStation gamers aren't big Splinter Cell fans because they're more of the fucking Metal Gear. I don't give a fuck about Metal Gear. Metal Gear, I like the first Metal Gear, but after that, Sons of Liberty, I was like, what the fuck? And then, I mean, Snake Eater was okay, but I just couldn't. I was like, this shit is just on some other shit. I can't deal. And then Splinter Cell came out, and that shit was like some hardcore espionage shit. It was like realistic. It wasn't all these superpowers and shit. And then I was like, after that, I was like, fuck this Metal Gear shit. I'm good. I'm just playing Splinter Cell. That's my shit. Like when I need my espionage fix, I go to Splinter Cell. You know, but yeah, man, State of Decay. This game is going to be dope. If you're a zombie fan, number one, if you haven't played State of Decay yet, I recommend you play it. Now, I'm going to tell you straight from it is glitchy. It is buggy. It has its issues. But in spite of all that, it is an amazing game. Like if you want to really dive in. Now, I'm going to tell you this. If you play games just to get through the story, then you're not playing State of Decay right. I'm just telling you straight up. There's not that. It is a simulator. Like, yes, you can jump in and play the story and go from, you know, the beginning and run. I think maybe the story is like 20 hours, maybe. I don't know if it's even that long. But the thing is, it's like you could build up your network of people. Just go out, search for people. Be like, oh, you know, you help people enough to, you know, they get into a dire straits. They'll be like, yo, can I join your group? You know, you're a good leader. Cool. Then you get, you know, you go from like 5 people to 10 people to 20 people. I think the most I had was 45 people. But I've heard people have like 100. You know, so it's like, yo, you just keep building your crew. You know, the more people you add on, you got to find a bigger facility to house those people. You know, you got to look for more resources. You know, so it's, you know, it's a lot of shit that goes in to State of Decay. And if it's and the simple fact that now it's going to be co-op makes that even more appealing, so it doesn't feel like it's so overwhelming as far as you getting those tasks done. But yeah, man, I can't wait. I cannot wait. I want to see new zombies, the weapons, all that shit. I can't wait. State of Decay is going to be the shit. All right, let's see what else is on here. Oh yeah, the ID dude. He was talking about Cuphead, I think. What is this? This ain't Cuphead. What is that? Here we go.
Really, really hard to finish that game, but they are making that game. We are going to see Cuphead in mid.
I'm sure you do.
I get asked it a lot.
They've seen some of this great stuff from Cuphead. When can we expect Cuphead? I get asked that all the time.
Yep, I get asked it a lot too. I ask it a lot.
Yeah.
We are going to see Cuphead in mid 2017. That's what the developer has said. They are doing they are working really, really hard to finish that game, but they are making that game by hand. I mean, if you follow them on Twitter, you can see them tweeting out frames that people are drawing, and they're doing something totally different with Cuphead, totally unique with Cuphead, and we're not going to rush them.
Yeah,
they should take all the time they need to make the game they want to make.
It's going to be out when it's done.
Exactly.
So 2017 is going to be another great year for ID at Xbox. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I look forward to it. Chris Charlotte from the ID at Xbox.
All right, Cuphead. I can't wait. That's my other must-have indie. Like this is up there with my anticipation with Ori. I know Rhyme's coming out. That looks really good too. So I'll probably pick. I think that comes out it's either this month or next month. I think so, right? Or is it May? I don't remember. But whenever it comes out, I'm gonna get Rhyme. But yeah, Cuphead, that game. Ever since it was announced, I was like, yo, I can't wait. What the fuck is taking so long? But then you find out that they, when Microsoft, they introduced themselves to Microsoft. Microsoft had interest in them. They were like, you know what? We'll fund the game. So then they were like, well, since we're going to get funding, let's see what else we could do with it. They wanted to expand it. So the thing is, to expand it, they got to draw all that shit. Everything's hand-drawn. So if you know anything about, if you have ever been to like Disney animation studios or anything like that, you know that most animated movies back in the day, and I don't even know how many people they got on their squad. I mean, I'm assuming they might have been able to employ a few more people with the funding they received, but that shit takes time. I think like the average movie animation, like something really, average. I think it was like 3 years. Like one of those Disney movies. It might have been longer than that. It might have been like 5. Like some of those movies were like 5. Like I think Sleeping Beauty was like 5 years. It was something like that. It just took a fucking long time to make. But yeah, man, that Cuphead is going to be the shit. Yeah, and these are the games that are coming out, but they're not going to announce these games now. Like I know people want to know. It's like I want to know now, but they're not. They're gonna hold on to that shit because with the launch of the Xbox, look, man, they already have enough bad publicity. There's nothing that they're gonna announce right now that's going to help them squash the bad press from the original Xbox. It's just not. They have to hold everything close to their chest. And they need to basically relaunch Xbox One. That's what they're going to do. Like look at it just as a sports game, right? There's 2 teams battling it out, right? This is a blowout, right? This is what people have been saying. PlayStation has won the console war, whatever. This is a blowout, right? Well, you don't leave your fucking starters on the fucking court when there's a goddamn blowout. You put them motherfuckers on the bench, and then you wait until the next game, and then try to win the next one. So that's basically what Microsoft is doing. You know, especially now, you're going to launch a new console. It's like, all right, well, what are you going to do? You know, you had to put out Halo Wars 2 now because you're not going to put it out in the holidays and have it fucking destroyed. And you're not going to necessarily put it out in the summertime because after E3, the interest for it is not going to be as high. So this was the perfect time to put the game out. After that, now they're going to launch, and you know, they're going to do Voodoo Vince, which is a remaster. They're going to do Phantom Dust, which is a remaster. Cool, whatever, right? After that, you're not going to hear much. You let the multi-plats ride. Number one, you got a fucking great game in Resident Evil. Not everybody bought that shit. You got a great game in Ghost Recon Wildlands. Some people like it, some people don't. But the people that do play it, they love it, and they play the shit out of it because I see them playing it on my friends list all the time. Same thing with Mass Effect. Yesterday it was me. It was 100. It was Tax, K Mega, all playing Mass Effect. You know, fucking just grinded through that game, man. The game is dope. But you got a lot of multiplayer. It's a lot of shit to play right now. So Xbox is good. You know, so when Cuphead launches, which is most likely, like they said, midway point, so that's June. That's if they're done. You know, I want them to be finished as soon as possible, but I don't want them to rush them. Just like old dude said, he said, "Look, man, we're not gonna push them. They got to let them have, you know, they have something great. They got a gem on their hand. Like Cuphead is an indie that can possibly earn a fucking 10, you know, and Microsoft is trying to ensure it by allowing the game to go to Steam. Because we know for a fact that Xbox gets a ton of hate, and a way to squash some of that hate is allow PC gamers to play this level of fucking great, well, it's not an indie anymore, but this great, you know, smaller title on Steam. So therefore you won't have as much fucking backlash. It's just like, you know, it's ridiculous the amount that they get, but it is what it is. You know, it's like, what can you do? You know, you just kind of got a bit, you know, grit your teeth and bear with it until fucking until E3 happens, and then we get more announcements, and then Scorpio drops. But it is what it is. All right, so let's go on to, let's see what. Oh yes, can't forget this shit. I don't even. Well, you know what? Let's play.
Sponsor program, Chris. Thanks for your time.
Thanks.
Shannon, I'm a huge Crackdown fan, but you haven't really told me that much. So give up the goods. What do you got?
Well, you remember how great the original Crackdowns were with the big open cities, and as you leveled up, your cards and your weapons leveled up.
Yep.
Well, imagine all that times 10.
Okay.
Crackdown 3 is all about the boom. It's a massive futuristic city. You have smarter enemies, more vehicles, new weapons, and the explosions and the destruction. I mean, it's really an incredible experience.
There's a massive game. I'm really looking forward to taking a look at that. When can we expect that?
That game is coming this year.
Oh, this year. Okay, there we go. Now we've also got some other titles that you've been talking about. Some classic titles that are coming to Xbox. Tell us about them.
All right. Well, before we get on to what she's gonna say about that, I gotta go back. Now this game, this motherfucker right here is going to be the shit. Crackdown, man. I was a huge Crackdown fan. I just love the verticality, the agility. Like Crackdown was a great game. I wish I could. I don't even remember if I beat it completely. I'm trying to remember. I didn't buy it day one. Because I know a lot of people bought Crackdown because it came with the Halo beta, but I didn't. I chose to wait. And I think I bought it when it was like $20 or something like that. But I actually bought the game like, if I'm not mistaken, no. I bought it was $20. I traded it in, bought something else. I don't remember the fuck I bought. But I remember getting the game again because it was like free with Xbox Gold. I have it on my 360 now. I don't fucking play 360, so it's just like whatever the fuck, you know. But yeah, Crackdown is a great game. Now, a lot of people that hated on Crackdown said, "Oh, well, you know, it looks cartoony." I'm like, yo, It's fucking Crackdown. Like, can we keep the shit legit? Like, yo, this game looks fucking great. Look at this shit. It looks good. Even as a cartoon, like the graphics still look really, really nice and crisp, man. Like that's all I need. Like I don't need everything to be super photorealistic. That's well and good, and I appreciate those games as well. But you can't tell me this game doesn't look amazing. And imagine this shit. Like this shit is obviously this is going to look more. I mean, I don't know what the variation is going to be as far as Scorpio to the Xbox One, but either way, the game is going to be amazing, man. I just can't wait. I just want to blow shit up. I'm not gonna lie. I just want to blow some shit up and just watch it fucking crumble. I can't fucking wait. You know, like I can't wait, man. This game is gonna be dope. I want to really see what they. Well, this is my one thing. I know that they have to put in really strong multiplayer, so they need to figure out ideas of, you know, how they're going to implement that and make sure that whatever they have, it's strong. They got to make sure the weapons are good. They got to make sure, and they got to figure out a way to. I don't know if they'll do orbs or anything like that as far as like agility and shit like that. I think they'll probably have everybody at the same level as far as physical attributes, because I mean, shit, if you can play Crackdown and your dude is super physical, and then somebody's a noob and comes in, you can kick that motherfucker like across the goddamn fucking map, and he can't do shit. Just too damn weak. You know, in Crackdown, you can pick up fucking trucks and toss them bitches like a good 50 yards and shit. So it's like, you know, I don't know. I think they'll probably put everybody on the same level. Either they'll put it on everybody on high, or they'll put everybody on medium. You know, maybe not. So it's not like, all right, you jump at super high, and you're not super fast. It's like moderate, I guess. Or they might have like you do moderate, and then they also do custom. Like, all right, whatever your level, your rank is, you can go in there and, you know, battle amongst yourselves. And at that point, everybody will probably, you know, be progressing to rank 100 on everything, bombs, physical attributes, all that shit. So, you know, we'll see. But yeah, man, this game looks fucking dope, and I can't wait. I can't wait. It's gonna, from what I'm hearing, it's gonna play similar to I shouldn't say similar, but like it's going to be like Nemesis system-ish. Except for, I mean, it's just, I mean, their rendition of it, you know, they have like this whole hate meter where it's like, all right, and the Nemesis, you know, for the Shadow Mordor, you fight people, and then when they beat you, they become progressively stronger. In Crackdown, it's different. In the Crackdown system, with the hate system, when you beat them, they become progressively stronger. So the more guys you beat, the stronger and more difficult those enemies become. So like on Shadow of Mordor, it's like, all right, you can fight dudes, and if you win, they'll stay at the same level. Yes, you have to fight stronger dudes over time, but still, for the most part, you know, those lower ranked guys will still be the same weaker level that they were. Crackdown, that's not the case. You keep on fucking dudes, operations up, the next wave of dudes are going to be fucking harder to kill from all of them. And then they'll have their little mini boss too, but the regular guys are going to be fucking harder to kill. So it's just their rendition of the Nemesis system. They kind of had something similar to that in the original Crackdown. It just wasn't as polished as what you would see with like Shadow of Mordor. And you could actually, even though the main boss was hard to get to, you could still try to actually, you know, go and kill, you know, get him first before you start knocking down all these other little operations and shit. Let's see. What was the other thing? I think they were talking about. Okay. Yeah. Okay, here we go.
That game is coming this year.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Okay, there we go. Now,
It's holiday,
we've also got some
no
other
more
titles
like
that you've been talking about, some classic titles that are coming to Xbox. Tell us about them.
That's right. We love Xbox fans, and Xbox fans love their games. And we've had a lot of requests to bring back some of the games that they loved in the early days. So we are working on both Phantom Dust and Voodoo Vince.
Ooh, Voodoo Vince. I'm a huge fan of Voodoo Vince. A great character, amazing soundtrack. How did that come about?
You know, one of the creators of Voodoo Vince is a man named Clayton Keslarik. He actually is Voodoo Vince. And Clayton works on my team now, and he's had a strong desire to bring the game back forever. And so he has been working with a team of his friends, and he has a deal through ID at Xbox, and he's remastered the entire game. I've been playing. It feels great. It feels so modern.
Sounds
beautiful
like
textures,
5-star system,
and Voodoo Vince himself is the same charming character that he's always been.
That sounds like a lot of fun. Now, the next title is a huge fan favorite, right?
That's right. Yes, Phantom Dust originally came out for the original Xbox, the OG box. It was made exclusively for our Japanese market, and a third-party publisher brought it to the US, but only in very tiny quantities. And people that played it absolutely loved it. It was way ahead of its time in terms of gameplay, collectible card game. Nobody's ever created a perfect deck.
Right. So, but it's important to point out is that you guys are taking the original game, but you're adding all the awesomeness that has developed over Xbox over the years, right?
Well, yes, we are. So we're working with the original game code, as you mentioned, but running it on an Xbox One, it just naturally looks better.
Right.
It's a much more powerful system. So it looks a little more modern. The heart of the gameplay is the same. And then the best part is we're adding Xbox Live with all of the Xbox Live features. It's an Xbox Play Anywhere game. It supports cross-play, cross-save, and best of all, achievements.
Yeah. Shannon, what are you most excited about?
Well, I've been playing a ton of the Halo Wars 2 beta and super excited to get into.
All right, so those were the last two, like I spoke about before, Voodoo Vince and Phantom Dust. Voodoo Vince, I'll probably get when it launches. I've never played the original, so I'll play through that. And Phantom Dust, I know that game is long. I heard that it doesn't really open up until like hour 10 or some shit like that. So I'm like, ooh, it's just gonna be a fucking some work out that bitch. But yeah, man, I can't wait. You know, it's the slower time of the year. I'm not really planning to pick up anything else for a while. Like I'm not a huge fighting game guy, so I'm not gonna get. I'm not likely to pick up Injustice, even though I did play the first one. I really enjoyed the first one, but to be honest, after the story, I did not. You know, I didn't play that game much at all. So I don't know. It just to me, I don't see myself playing it like that. So, really, out of all the fighting games I have, which is really just Killer Instinct and Mortal Kombat, I really just play Killer Instinct. Mortal Kombat is cool, but its fighting system is just something I'm not particularly comfortable with. It just, I don't know. I don't have the same level of comfort with it as I do with Killer Instinct. It's just Killer Instinct is just something easier to pick up and understand how shit works. So, but yeah, man, Voodoo Vince, I don't know. I mean, it's not the best looking game, but you know, it'll be all right. But that Phantom Dust will be interesting because we haven't really seen anything from it. We only know that it's going to be a little bit more polished, but they've only really shown the 360, not the 360, the OG Xbox versions of that game, you know. So it'll be interesting to see. And I think that community might do well because I mean, I've looked online and there's a fairly stable, you know, community of people that enjoy that game, but they just, you know, like many, you know, anything, people don't want to have to go back to old hardware to play those games. They don't want to have to go back to the OG Xbox or the 360 in order to play Phantom Dust. So a lot of them, unless they're doing it, they're content creators, they just don't play it anymore. You know, just waiting for Microsoft to release those games. So, you know, kudos, can't wait. But yeah, so, you know, those are the things that Microsoft are doing. We know that Crackdown is coming in probably around the launch of the Scorpio. We know that Sea of Thieves might release a little bit earlier. Obviously, there's going to be some type of Forza that comes out. State of Decay probably also will release around the same time as the Scorpio. And then we have Cuphead. Now, all right, I'm going to tell you what I think is going to get the highest ratings. I'm going to tell you why. Well, first, I think Cuphead's going to rank the highest. I think it has the most potential to get a 10. Yeah, I think it'll have a 10. From what I've heard, the mechanics work well. I've heard it's extremely difficult. So, like, people that are big on the challenge, like, I know I tell people, I've had discussions with people like, oh, you should play Bloodborne, it's challenging. And to me, it's not the challenge that I didn't like. It's the fucking, I don't have interest in that style. Like, I played Dark Souls, and Dark Souls I was never a fan of. And, you know, I had Dark Souls 1 and 2 and wasn't a fan of either one of them. It's just not my cup of tea. And I'm not saying that those aren't good games. It's just not for me. Like, certain games you can play through, even if they're difficult, if you have enough interest to do so. For me, Aliens Isolation is one of those games. It's a fucking kind of hard game. Really fucking terrifying. But if you're an Aliens diehard like myself, it is a fucking dream to play. You know, yes, the glitches are a little but I mean, not glitches, but the frame rate issues that they have are fucking, you know, a little bit annoying. But aside from that, the game is still amazing. So, you know, I think Cuphead with the art style, yeah, I think it'll be really cool. I don't know if it could be any, like, I played Rise and Shine. I don't know if y'all played Rise and Shine, but that game is a fucking ball fucking buster. That last boss took me, I don't remember how long it took me to beat that motherfucker. And it wasn't like I didn't know what to do. It was just that it was fucking hard because, like, shit's coming all over. Like, it's like shit's coming at you from all angles. So to me, I think after playing Rise and Shine, it'll make playing Cuphead a lot easier to get into because of the difficulty of what we experienced in Rise and Shine to those people that played that game and beat it. Which is, look, if you haven't played Rise and Shine, and look, you got to be a skilled gamer. Like, I don't know, like, if Call of Duty is like the game that you consider yourself a gamer, and I don't know if you'll be able to play Rise and Shine, man. I don't know. That shit is yeah, Bloodborne. You know what the thing is, Kelvin, that I find about Bloodborne is it's not that it's a bad game. It's, to me, it's like a cheat, right? It's like, all right, I could beat this guy, and you're making me, I gotta hit this dude in like millimeters of fucking his life comes off. So I gotta hit him like 100 times to take his ass down versus like 20. And that shit is fucking annoying to me. It's like you made it like this, you know, and made it basically tedious. Yes, I don't want to be able to take a guy down with 5 hits. Yeah, I agree with that. But at the same time, I don't want to have to hit the same character 100 times. I get it. I fucking get it. He's a big bastard. But come on, man. There's other ways you can make this difficult without, like, making his life take forever to knock down. That shit is annoying. But those are the type of games you'll play and you knock his life all the way down to like maybe 1/16 of his life bar, and you fucking get hit and have to do that shit all over again. That shit is annoying. You've been playing that shit for 30 minutes or however long it takes. That shit is just fucking a pain in the ass, man. I just can't deal with that shit. Yeah, that Cuphead, I think that's going to probably have a rank of a 10, between 9.5 and 10. Oh, well, as far as Metacritic, I think it'll probably be a 9.2. I mean, you know what the fuck was Ori? I don't remember what the hell Ori was. I looked at that shit. That went to Steam eventually. Oh shit, move this shit over. All right, what the fuck? All right, Ori and the Blind Forest got 88. I got 88. I think it'll be a little bit higher than that. So yeah, you know what? It might be a 91. I just think, you know what? The only thing that really depends on how high the score is. Like, I don't think it'll be lower than 80. I don't think it'll be lower than 80, just based on the boss difficulty alone. But the only thing that can hurt the score is that they put all the platforming in, and it not be as good as it could be, and then they'll probably dock them for that. So I think if the platforming is good, boss battles are still as good as they were, then I think it can get as high as a 92 on Metacritic. But if it's not, it might get as low as maybe 85 on Metacritic. I just think people have been waiting for this game too long. Like, unless the game is fundamentally just fucking broken, I don't think that, I think what people have played, because people have played this game enough to have an idea of like, okay, this is what this game is, And from all the accounts that I've heard, people love the game. And even as difficult as the game was, people still love the game. So I'm thinking at a minimum, it'd be like an 85. Let's see. What else we got up here? So I said Cuphead is 85 to 92. State of Decay. That'll be my next highest one. I think State of Decay can run. You know what? While I'm talking about State of Decay, I might as well go to its score on Metacritic from the previous one. Hold up. All right, State of Decay. Biscuits. All right, State of Decay on Xbox 360 was about an 8. Well, it was a 78, 79 on PC, and 72 on Xbox One. I can't argue with the Xbox One shit because I'm like, yo, you got a stronger hardware. Yes, they polished the shit up a little bit, but still, it shouldn't be as glitchy as it is. I mean, granted, I know they were still working on that CryEngine shit. What I've heard from cats like Don is the engine is notoriously difficult to use. Even though, yes, you can make some beautiful looking games on it, you have to really be skilled at using that engine in order to really accomplish that. It's not very easy to operate. So State of Decay. I'm thinking at a minimum, it'll be at 80. At a minimum. But I think based on the dynamic, let me look at Shadow of Mordor, because I think it might be using something similar to that. I think, what was Shadow of Mordor, 90? Shadow of Mordor, no, was not. It was a 87 on Xbox One. Okay. All right, so it might be on that level. Shadow of Mordor, so man, I don't know. You know what? I don't know if it can make a 90. As much as I think the game will be amazing like a 90, I don't know if it can make it because the rules of being a 90 are just so fucking like we already see it's super super crisp graphics. Just think about it. All right, well all right, Bloodborne wasn't as a great of a looking game as maybe Uncharted and well, Horizon's not a 90. Uncharted and what's that other fucking game? I guess Nier is kind of polished. I don't know, but I guess yeah, Nier Automata is about the same level of crispness as Bloodborne, so it has to be crisp. But I don't know if State of Decay is going to be on that level. It's just that I don't see. I mean, I haven't seen much, but what I've seen from the trailer doesn't look like they're going in that direction as far as their the graphics. You know, I think they're sticking more so towards the system and how things operate more so than, you know, how realistic something looks. So thinking maybe at its weakest it'll be at 80, and at its strongest it could be 89. And I gotta factor in the fact that, you know, people might hate on it just because or whatever, you know. It's just a stipulation when it comes to Xbox games. You know, like the thing is like if PlayStation makes a game, they don't really question the game. They don't question whether or not there were shortcuts taken, unless the game is broken. Unless the game is truly broken, they don't really question, you know, oh, this game couldn't have been done because of this factor, that factor. Fuck you, Microsoft, you know, or in that case, fuck you, Sony. Like they don't, like the media doesn't really go at Sony games in that direction, you know. So I don't know. So I have to factor that in. That's why I don't think it'll be a 90. Unless, look, it has to have no glitches. To get a 90, you gotta have for Xbox. That bitch gotta be shiny. She gotta have the graphics. She gotta have the story gotta be on point. I know that it's dynamic, so I don't even know how they might have like a main story that everything stays on, and then aside from that, stuff can branch out in multiple ways, you know. So it's almost like having a tree. It's like, you know, the tree's going to grow up, but as far as the branches, you really don't know how the branches are going to grow out, you know. So, you know, maybe it's going to be along that line. It's like, yeah, we don't know. The story is going to change for each person depending on what they do and how the NPCs react to what they do and the environment. And, you know, you pile a bunch of cars here, zombies will go there, you know, shit like that. So, but I think if they make the game feel like Walking Dead, like some real Walking Dead shit, I think they might be able to pull off like a serious upset. And what I mean is by serious upset is, you know, Xbox has no 90 rated games outside of Forza, and Ori was close, but they have no 90 rated games. You know, it is what it is. Is it fair or not fair? Whatever. They don't have any 90 rated games, and I think that a game like State of Decay has potential for the fact that The Walking Dead is the most popular show on television. And if you can make a zombie game that feels like a game that people, which is the most popular game on television, show on television, that people could relate to and look at and be like, oh, this person's like Rick, this person's like Daryl, that person's like Michonne, this person's like Maggie, you know, and then have them run into conflicts, and have them run into conflicts not just with zombies, but other people, other factions. If they can find a way to do that, and then at the same time making it feel fresh and making it feel not predictable, then they might have something like some serious shit on their hand. You know, like that'll be a game that people could play multiple times and not get bored of playing it because it'll never give you the same experience that you had previously. Similar to like Shadow of Mordor, you know, like it always changes because depending on who you killed, you know, and how you killed them, their reaction to it, how strong they are, shit like that changes. And if they could do that with State of Decay, that'll be some dope shit. But yeah, I give them between I say 8.5 and an 89. I think it could strike around there. Now, Crackdown 3. Crackdown 3 might be the best multiplayer game that comes out because it'll be something that is mind-blowing. But as far as its rating, I think Crackdown could be as low as 78, and it could be as high as maybe it could be a 90. But I don't. The only problem with Crackdown is being a 90 is like I said, the same thing with State of Decay, because it's not a definitive story. Like the critics are just like, if the story is not set and it's carved out and it's like this is what the story is, beginning and end, blah blah blah, those people have a hard time really giving those type of games high scores. Yes, I think what's that game? Overwatch got fairly high scores, but Overwatch also is a Blizzard game. Yeah, it got a 91. So even though it doesn't have story, it's a Blizzard game. And you know, with Blizzard games, you know, they get more of a cushion. My thing with Crackdown is it has to be fun. And you know, the physics look amazing. You know, blowing up shit, that shit looks dope. My thing is the multiplayer has to be interesting. They have to have customizations. You know, I know you can customize your character and all that stuff, but I mean, you got to be able to customize your weapons and what your character wears to an extent. You know, ooh, what is a good thought is if they made it bosses versus agents. So if they could figure out a dynamic of where you play as the main kingpin type dude and you control the battlefield of where your minions are, and yeah, you can run out and do wild shit on the streets, but you do also run the risk of getting popped if you do that shit. So you know, they could do something like that in a multiplayer, similar to what people didn't like in what was that game? Fable Legends. Maybe not in the same exact aspect of that, because I don't know if people will want to play a whole top-down game. I doubt it. But I think if you gave menu options, like you're like, okay, I want to move a faction of dudes here, faction of dudes there, and then bam, I get to go back into my, you know, third-person view, and maybe you like as the boss, you have like some dope-ass, you know, vehicles available to you, so you don't have to be on the ground exposed. I mean, because if the agents are out there, you know, and you're not super strong, they gonna tag that ass. It's gonna happen. So, you know, but that'd be an interesting concept. But I think for a score for Crackdown, yeah, it might be able to get a 90, but like I said, man, it's gonna have to be the story, and that's the only thing I think is a drawback for it. There's no story, there's not enough story. And it's not made by somebody that they'll let them get a pass on not having a story, you know? Like, yes, Overwatch didn't have a story, but it's Blizzard, and they give them passes. Like, Fallout, I mean, I'm not saying Fallout didn't have a story, but, you know, like, games like that, they get passes. Like, You know, Microsoft exclusives are not gonna get passes, man. They just it ain't that shit this gen, yo. Like if they were still the number one console, I mean, it just seems like that's what comes with the territory with the number one selling console. Like, yeah, do I feel that some PlayStation games are overrated? Sure, but also that comes with the territory. It's like when you're the home team, they tend to get more foul calls. It is what it is, you know. Now the fact that I might be pointing it out, like any sports fan would, you'd be like, "Oh, this dude's getting hella foul calls. That's why they're winning." Yeah, that may be true, but at the same time, we knew this is why you fight for home field advantage, because you want more foul calls. So, you know, as much as it sucks that PlayStation gets a lot of praise for games that are, you know, about the same as the Xbox counterparts, you know, it comes with the territory. When you're in the number one spot, you get more praise than person in number two. It is what it is. What's the last game? Sea of Thieves. Sea of Thieves. Now I have to look at a game that is going to be comparable to that, and that would be I'll look at Destiny and what's the other game? Destiny and Minecraft. I'll look at Minecraft first. I think it looks more like Minecraft than Destiny, to be honest. All right, Minecraft. 93 on PC, 89 on PS4, and 88 on Xbox One, and 82 on 360. So, Sea of Thieves. Huh. It's a good one. Because, to be honest, all these Xbox games kind of have the same, they're all in the same boat. You know, they don't have, as far as I know, they don't have definitive stories written for them. They have little like mini quests and things of that nature, but there's no definitive story. A lot of these games are based off of gameplay. You know, Sea of Thieves is based off of gameplay. Crackdown 3 is based off of gameplay. State of Decay is based off of gameplay. Like, gameplay is where their staple is. That's where they're going for, gameplay and multiplayer. So, I think this is where I think Sea of Thieves is going to fall. Does the PC crowd rally behind this game? That's why I'm looking. Is this the game that's going to make PC gamers say, fuck it, I don't give a fuck how much I don't like the Windows Store, I gotta play this game? Now, Microsoft gotta help. They can't make it fucking difficult to deal with the to use the Windows Store in order for them to play this particular game. So they gotta make it easy on themselves. They can't have no bullshit going down. And I think if that happens, they could make sure all that shit runs smoothly. Then they might be able to get a 90. They might be, like, all these games, they all have potential to get 90s. I give them that. It's not they all have potential to get 90s. And the reason why I say that is, you know, with Sea of Thieves, even though it's not a realistic game, it's a fully interactive game. So from what I heard from the developers is everything in the world can be affected. Similar to the way Crackdown works, like that, which is why it's online. So, you know, I wouldn't doubt that Sea of Thieves, as well as Crackdown, uses a lot of physics. And to me, that's what makes a game feel like, give it even more character. When you have those physics and, you know, like simple stuff, like you go into the jungle and you're cutting down tree branches to you know, climb through and shit. Oh, shit like that. What is this? Shit like that is that would, you know, builds more immersion into the game. So yeah, I think 90 is possible. You know, like all these games, they all have potential. You know, they just do. And mind you, we're only looking at the Xbox One version of these games. We don't know how they're going to look on the Xbox Scorpio. So that is another dynamic in itself. So yeah, I can't wait. But yeah, man, the future looks bright. These are all the games we're going to be looking at this year, and then obviously they're going to have other games that, you know, will be interesting to look at for the future. So yeah, I can't wait. I mean, now the other thing is, as I close, it's like, why are people hating on Microsoft? And the thing is like, you know, the industry is fickle. And what I mean is, as far as consumers, man, it's like, what have you done for me lately? And people just think irrationally. Like, you got people out here talking about, well, Xbox doesn't have enough games, but yet they didn't even buy the fucking exclusives. Well, Xbox doesn't have any games. Did you buy Crackdown? I mean, not Crackdown. Did you buy Quantum Break? No, I didn't buy Quantum Break. It got a whatever on Metacritic. I'm like, yo, dude, what the fuck does that even matter? It didn't get a 30. It got a 77. Like, what the fuck? Oh, well, it wasn't an 80 or a 90. Like, the fuck? Did you buy Sunset Overdrive? Oh, no, well, I don't know if I'm interested in that. I'm like, yo, man, look, I'm not saying you have to get everything, you know, and if it doesn't interest you, it doesn't interest you. But my thing is, you know, if you don't play the games, you know, you can't really complain about it, you know, about not having games to play. Like, it's one thing to play a bunch of games and be like, yo, I don't want that game. All right. You know, it is what it is, but you're not complaining about not having games to play because you're playing other shit. But there's another thing to be like, I ain't got shit to play, and then complain about not playing games when you don't play the fucking games. So like, oh, Xbox has no games. You didn't play Quantum Break. You didn't play Sunset Overdrive. You didn't play fucking Forza Horizon. You didn't play Halo Wars. You didn't play any of these games, but yet Xbox has no games. How the fuck is this possible? Did you play Dead Rising 4? No? That's another fucking game. Did you know Dead Rising 4 also has DLC coming out where you play as a zombie and you got to eat people to survive? No? Do you want to play that? Oh, you don't? Like, what the fuck? I'm not saying every game's for everybody. But as a gamer, you can't complain about not having games to play when you don't fucking play games. This shit don't make no sense. So I don't have any games. Be like, dude, what's the last game you played? Call of Duty. Be like, did you buy anything since then? No. Be like, well, what the fuck? What are you doing? Be like, oh, well, I don't like anything else. I'm like, well, how would you know? Like, if you're really in a drought, you really want a game, you know, like, how about you do some research? Look, how about you not just look at ratings, look at the fucking game. Because there's a lot of games I wouldn't have played if I simply looked at the rating. Like, you got to look at the game and see if it's something that you're truly interested in. And if you're not, then fine, then move on to the next thing. You don't have to buy everything. You know, you don't have to be a exclusive loyalist and just buy exclusive just to say you bought them. That's not, you know, that's pointless in itself as well. But, you know what I mean? Like, people coming out hating on Xbox about, well, they talk about controllers more than fucking games. I'm like, one, you know, they're not going to talk about anything new right now. They're not. And they've already spoken about Voodoo Vince. There's only but so much you can talk about Voodoo Vince. Like, the game comes out in like I don't know, what is it, fucking week, whatever, however long it is. It's like, the fuck. You don't need that. You know, we don't need like this ain't Gears. We don't need like a massive lead up to Voodoo Vince, especially when that shit ain't on some Ratchet and Clank shot type shit. Now, if it look like Ratchet and Clank, yeah, you might want to push that bitch a little bit, but that shit's only gonna cost $15. You know, go get it from the store. People like it, cool. Maybe they'll make another one. If not, then you know, it's a remastered OG Xbox title. It is what it is. PlayStation has a ton of those games. You know, motherfuckers don't get up in the arms about PlayStation releasing PS1 games on the PS4. They don't fucking lose their mind and be like, oh, fuck you, Sony. I want a new IP. You got fucking PS1 games remastered. Fuck that. They didn't say that shit when they got the 360 games remastered. I mean, the PS3 games remastered. You know? I mean, this generation's been weird, man. It's just been like hate after hate on Xbox shit. It's just crazy, man. It's just, you know, I mean, I guess they were at the top of the mountain for so long that when they fell, motherfuckers just wanted to kick the fuck out of them when they down. I guess that's what the case was. But yeah, I don't know. It seems to be that way. But I can't wait for the lineup, man. Xbox shit is looking bright. People gonna hate. They're gonna hate. I mean, shit, motherfuckers probably still hate even after Scorpio drop. You know, they're gonna come out and say fucking power doesn't matter. Like, I'm gonna tell you some real shit. You know, as gamers, we evolve and our tastes change. And me personally, I've said this for a while now, but I'm becoming more of a multiplayer game. It's just where my interests are moving, you know? So when people tell me, be like, oh, you don't want to play Horizon Zero Dawn, I'm like, no. And it's not that I think the game is really, I mean, I know I call the game trash, but it's not that I really think it's trash. I just think I've done that already. Like, I've already played Assassin's Creed. I've already played fucking Shadows of Mordor. I've already played fucking GTA. I played a lot of fucking open world games. A fucking lot. And Horizon Zero Dawn is just not that fucking good. It's just not. Like Red Dead Redemption on the 360 is better than that shit. And that game is old. And that shit is better than fucking Horizon Zero Dawn. Facts. That game is better. Don't believe me. Go play that shit. Go play Red Dead Redemption. Backwards compatible. On Xbox One. That game is better. It don't look better than fucking Horizon Zero Dawn. But that game is better. It's better as far as the story. It's better as far as gameplay. It's a better fucking game. You know, like, I'm just like I was having this discussion on Twitter. The guy was like, well, Horizon Zero Dawn is the most graphically impressive. I'm like, yeah, that's cool for the first couple of, you know, plays and times I play it. But then what else is there after that? What am I doing in this game that I haven't done already? Like, to be honest, Tomb Raider is better than that game. Tomb Raider is a lot better than that game. It's not graphically more impressive than that game, but at the same time, it's not like Tomb Raider looks like dog shit neither. That game is fucking great looking. So it's just like, yo, Tomb Raider has better gameplay. It's a better overall story. That fucking story about that shit is dumb. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. That shit is dumb. I tried to watch that shit on because people were like, oh well, you don't fucking you didn't play it, you don't know. So I tried to watch the fucking, you know, little gameplay movie shit. I'm like, yo, this shit is boring as fuck. I've watched the shit for The Last of Us. I played The Last of Us. I watched the shit for Uncharted. I played Uncharted. Them shits weren't boring. But this Horizon Zero Dawn shit, oh my fucking goodness, that shit was boring, yo. That shit was boring. Like, yo, 3 times I tried to watch that full shit, fell asleep. 3 fucking times. And that dialogue is sleepy as fuck. You know, yes, Mass Effect's dialogue isn't much better in the ME, but that you can't tell me put those shit side by side and be like Horizon Zero Dawn's dialogue is hell no. That shit is sleepy as hell. So yeah, I mean, look, man, I'm not impressed by graphics alone. That shit is well and good, but that shit alone don't impress me, man. You know, I'm more of a multiplayer guy now. It is what it is. You know, Spider-Man might be dope. That's probably the most interesting game that they have coming to PlayStation. God of War is okay. It's graphically impressive, but it's just like it's another game, just like the last. It's just like, yo, what the fuck? It's just the same formula after another. It's the same formula. It's like they just take all of the same shit and they put it all in the fucking their AAA IPs, like all the same shit. It's like Uncharted, Horizon, the God of War. Like it's just, they're just gonna be climbing. They're gonna be running with their friends. You know, you're gonna have like they all have the fucking now speech shit, whatever that little dialogue wheel. They all got that shit. It's just like I don't even understand why they even put that shit in Uncharted. That makes no fucking sense. Isn't like you don't need it. That'd be like if I'm playing Halo and it's like, all right, they're gonna put a dialogue wheel in. Yo, as Master Chief used to say this. And my thing is like, yo, if it doesn't affect the story, why the fuck am I doing it? Don't you just want to say something different? No, not if it's not gonna affect the story. The fuck is the point? You be like, yo, Cortana blew some shit up. Oh, man, I never trusted that bitch in the first place. And then turn back and be like, you know what? I think I was a little bit too aggressive the first time. Hey, Chief, Cortana blew some shit up. Really? But like, what the fuck? Like, am I just saying different shit just to be saying it? Like, what's the fucking point of that? I just don't get it, man. And they did the same shit in fucking Horizon Zero Dawn. The same shit. A fucking wheel that does nothing. God of War probably had the same fucking thing. You'd be like, oh, little man. He's like, I need you to go get the, whatever with the birds. And he was like, well, which one? What should I do? Should I do this, that, and the third? And he'd be like, I'll figure it out. And you use some stupid ass will in order to do that shit. Like, shit is pointless, man. It's just like, what the fuck is the point? But I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I mean, the zombie game looks interesting enough. I don't know. Days Gone, it looks okay, but again, like it's I don't know, I'm just not interested. Like the thing is, if you look at like the elements of all those, like the elements of Uncharted, elements of Last of Us, the elements of God of War, the elements of Days Gone, it all feels the same. They all feel like a third person, whether or not, the story might be different, but it just feels like the same formula as far as the gameplay. It's a story written out, maybe they have, like Horizon Zero Dawn has a little side quest versus maybe a game like Uncharted, which doesn't. But then who knows? Maybe God of War has side quests. Spider-Man's going to have side quests. Because, I don't know if Spider-Man games always have side quests. Are they good? Typically, no. But, maybe they can change that. With Insomniac, which are pretty good. They had decent side quests in Sunset Overdrive, but Sunset Overdrive was just different on a whole nother level. So, they could do more quirky shit and not make it seem mundane versus maybe like Spider-Man. I don't know how many times you're gonna, after a while you'd be like, damn, man, I've been stopping all these criminals. Do they not fucking get the hint? I'm Spider-Man out this bitch. Why the fuck you keep trying to rob the bank, bitch? Like, you're going to jail. But I don't know. But you know, I don't know. The PlayStation, look, man, their gamers like the games that they get. So I can't, you know, I'm not a PlayStation gamer. You know, I'll play whatever on fucking PS Now, and I'll, whatever I like. But that list was dog shit that I saw come out today. I was like, Killzone, hell no. Knack, fuck no. I was like, damn, Resogun, what the fuck? Ugh. Who the hell is using this service for these shitty ass games? Killzone 1 is not going to look as good. Like, Killzone, without its graphics, is a shit game. So it's like, playing that shit on PS Now was like, why the fuck even bother? Knack is just fucking Knack. It's Knack. What else do you want from that shit? Resogun is a fucking glorified indie. It's whatever. It's not that great. So it's just like, yo, what you gonna do with that shit? I mean, they got to put some real shit. They got to at least put Infamous Second Son. They already have, or maybe put the remastered Last of Us in there. It'll look a little bit better. And fuck, what else? What's it got? I mean, Uncharted. I think Uncharted has to be in there. They got to put Uncharted in there. I mean, to be honest, they don't got a lot of shit that I want to play. I don't want to play Neo. Like, Neo would be like a game I would be like, oh, okay. I played like the first hour and be like, yeah, I'm good. Same thing with Gravity Rush. I don't even know. If I didn't have that shit for without PS Now, I would not play that game. In Gravity Rush, period. I would not spend money on that shit. I want to spend money on fucking maybe Nier Automata. That looks good enough. But even then, I never really bought those games on 360, to be honest. My brother did. He loved those games like fucking that and Bayonetta and shit. He loved games like that, but I never really fucked with those games. I'm not really a big slasher type game, like just hacking and then slashing. Like, to me, the most hacking and slashing I do are games like Batman, Shadow of Mordor, Mad Max. I just like those games that have more of a strike and combo and counter system, like Rise, games like that. But games I'm just straight up just hacking, slashing, button mashing. Oh, hell no. Not interested in doing that shit. You gotta give me a fucking turbo button or something. But yeah, man, I don't know. It looks bright. I think both consoles about to get a lot of great games. I think as a PlayStation gamer, I think they're just content with what they have, and that's fine. I mean, I think the funniest thing about PlayStation gamers, they look at their library of games and they say, look at all these great games that we have. And I'm like, and then they get upset. I'm like, oh, what do you mean? I'm like, yo, them games aren't impressing me like that. It's just like, I have no interest in playing another game that's like another game I already played. What the fuck does that mean? I'm like, yo, like, look, man, I just don't have interest in it. Like, if I already played Tomb Raider like that, I'm not jonesing to play Uncharted. I'm sorry. I'm just like if I already played Tomb Raider, it's just like, oh, okay, I'm playing Uncharted. I'm not saying Uncharted is bad. I'm just saying I'm not jonesing to play something I've already had experience playing something similar to it. If I already played games like Assassin's Creed and Shadow of Mordor, I'm not jonesing to play fucking Horizon Zero Dawn. Oh, this is a different experience. You get to play with a cave bitch. I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm not jonesing to play something I've already played something similar to. It's just, if you're gonna introduce something new to me that is fresh and up my alley, that's cool. Like, to me, The Last of Us is probably the best game PlayStation has. The Last of Us, because of the story and and the crafting that it has. It's not deep crafting, so Don't get me wrong, but you know, it's more than Uncharted offers. You know, so you know that's probably the best game that PlayStation has in general. Yeah, that's about it. Um, Gran Turismo is trash now compared to Forza. That shit's garbage. You know, you might as well just put that next to fucking Need for Speed. Be like, yeah, you can play that shit if you want to, but I'm good. I ain't trying to play that shit. You know, I mean, what the fuck else is there? You know, a bunch of third-party games that aren't really exclusives that are just on the plate. Like, you got Neo, that's not a fucking exclusive. You got Nier Automata, that's not a fucking exclusive. You have well, Bloodborne is an exclusive. You have what the fuck is that other game? You got games like Kingdom Hearts and all that other shit, which I have no interest in whatsoever. But those games aren't really exclusives. They're just only being put on PlayStation. It is what it is. I don't know. You know, maybe times will change and Japanese developers will switch over. But you know what? It's just like, look, man, Sony was fucking suffering. They were trying to keep that company alive. I mean, it just made more sense to me that they would kind of go with the home team because they were like, look, man, we got to validate this product. Otherwise, these motherfuckers are going to lose everything, you know? So therefore, you know, even they might not have bad relationships with Microsoft. They're just they have a vested interest in keeping Sony afloat. And one way to do it is to provide it with exclusives. One, it was already the #1 platform. So it's not like it was like the Nintendo Wii and they were just doing it out of spite. You know, PlayStation was doing well. You know, you got help from the devs, you got help from the media. Like, there's a lot of factions that basically help Sony back to prominence. Now, don't get me wrong, it having the stronger hardware didn't hurt at all. But you know, the media and developers, everybody just blew that shit out of proportion. You know, and it was just like, yo, this shit is better, you gotta get this. They pushed the fuck out of it. I mean, shit, they did Let's Play on Gravity Rush, and that motherfucker didn't even sell 1 million. And I'm talking about they fucking pushed that bitch. Like, there was so much gameplay on like IGN and fucking GameSpot and all the motherfucking sites on Gravity Rush. Like, that shit was like, that shit got more play. Gravity Rush got more play on GameSpot and IGN than fucking Rise of the Tomb Raider when that shit originally launched. Shit was crazy, yo. And the thing is, people are like, well, it fell on the same day as Fallout. I'm like, that doesn't even make any fucking sense. Because guess what? You would have different teams. Like, you could have equally put out the same amount of fucking videos as Fallout for Tomb Raider. Y'all chose not to. You know, like, those straight up bullshit ass excuses that they were trying to give people. Oh, well, you know, it came out at the same time as Fallout. Like, motherfucker, literally, you just gonna only play Fallout? Like, you have multiple people working at their company. They couldn't play Tomb Raider? I'm just saying. It wasn't like a fucking chore to play. It wasn't like a terrible game to play. You know, the gameplay was solid. The story was solid. Like, there's nothing wrong with that game. That shit, I think it even had high Metacritic scores. It was like an 80 something. You know, but people just ignored the shit. It just seems like it just goes like that, man. It just goes like that. It is an 88. Yeah, but anyway, this is your boy Live. I'm about to get out of here. I'm gonna holler at y'all. Good discussion. And have a good one, man. Stay safe. And I'm out this bitch, baby. Peace.